self-preservation, self-elevation, these kind of things, they deserve celebration.
Welcome to Message Reveal. Message Reveal identifies a vibe, a message, or a story told through lyrics of a song. Well, you guys, if you rock with me every Monday, you know how I do. I tell you about our special guest, but before we do so, if you're new to my platform, please subscribe and find out what Message Reveal is all about. Excuse me. So let's get down to business so I can tell you about our special guest. One, she's a native of Las Vegas. Yes, we big up our natives of Las Vegas. Number two, she's a doula. We can't wait to find out more information about that. And last but not least, let me get this right. She provides workshops centered around positive conversation with women menstrual cycles. So you guys, please put your hand together and welcome my beautiful guest, Miss Brianna Jackson. How you doing, girl?
I am well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited about this.
So, like I tell all my guests, you can be doing anything with your time. So I appreciate you saying yes and coming onto my platform. So how are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. Today's a beautiful day. It's beautiful outside, sun shining. I'm happy.
That part. So let me just start by saying, tell us a little bit about who you are from your perspective.
So from my perspective, I'm a mom, of course. That's always first and foremost. I am a doula. I host workshops. I like to call myself many things in one because I also do case management as my job, which ties in with doula work because it's all community based. And I'm just an overall fun person. I love to enjoy myself and I love to live life. So
wonderful. I love that. She said, I'm many things in one. I haven't heard that term. Usually you say a jack of all trades, but I like that. That's new. Many things in one.
yes.
So I say this with all love. I love music. It has turned me all the way out in such a wonderful way, okay?
I feel you. Yes.
And I say all that to say, if you can identify a song that has either provided perspective, blessings, or lessons. Now, before you answer, there's a couple of rules to this. If you can sing, I need you to sing your throat box out. If you can rap, I need you to come hard in the paint and do it like you know how to do it. But if you cannot do either or, I would love for you to say it with passion. You know, when they say in the streets, stand 10 toes down, I got to be able to feel it. So I'll go back to my original question. Can you provide a song that has either blessed you, distracted you, or provided perspective?
All right, yes, I do have a song. It's actually by Kid featuring Damian Marley, and it's called Blessed. So it goes, I'm gonna say it with the passion.
Okay.
So it goes, I might be rough around the edges, baby, yes. I keep it nappy and I do what make me happy, and nobody can deny me that I'm blessed. So it just gives you the reminder that whatever goes on in your life, you are blessed. Distractions come, lessons come, it's all a part of life. So yeah, that's the song that I would say. Another part of it goes self-preservation, self-elevation, these kind of things, they deserve celebration. I really feel that you have to celebrate yourself. All while you're going through it, you still celebrate.
That's dope. I think you got to run that. You know, they go, you need to run that back one more time. Self-preservation.
Self-elevation, these kind of things, they deserve celebration.
And the name of this song is what again?
It's called Blessed by Kid featuring Damian Marley.
That's a bar. I'm gonna do pew, 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 pew.
I need you to
I
listen to that one.
yes.
There's
This is
so many things, so many things. It's like, oh my gosh.
I love that. I love that. See, this is a part of my job that I absolutely love. I get to be introduced to new songs, new perspective. I'm like, ooh, when I get off, I always like, ooh, let me play that. Let me see what they said or whatever the case may be. So thank you. Look, clap, clap to you.
Thank you.
And Wiz Khalifa, you said?
No, Kid.
Wiz Kid, I
He's a
apologize.
Nigerian rapper. Or yeah, he does Afro beats, reggae
Okay.
music. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for sharing that. And let's just jump into you being a native. Anytime I have my natives on, I always talk about my love for Las Vegas and your perspective. So I love Las Vegas. Can you give me your perspective of where you see it now and for the future?
So my perspective that I see now, just based on the community that I work in, it needs work, but everyone knows this. So therefore, they are putting their best foot forward in accomplishing that. So I love to see it because it's like finally, if you know about Las Vegas and how it was back in the days, I've spoken to my mom, aunties, uncles, just the elderly, and it's just amazing how far it's coming, what they thought it would never be. So to see that for them and see it with them, I'm excited.
Yes, I love that. I always try to get us natives perspective. So maybe 10 years from now, you can look back and you can see what you said about that. So let's go get into my boat one more time about music because we're going to go back and forth. And I need you to think back to your childhood when you had the opportunity to purchase your first song without anybody influence, like you received some money for Christmas or birthday, or you just had some money and you like, I know what I'm purchasing. Nobody can tell you anything. Can you identify a song?
Yes, I can actually identify an album. So the first CD that I purchased was the Aaliyah, her third album, Aaliyah. Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh,
That was the first CD that I purchased with my money.
so
I was
what was
probably
it?
in like the fourth grade, third, fourth grade.
Wow. Oh, you were serious about it. Okay.
Yes, I am serious. Music is serious.
So what was it that you said I had to pick that, and what, give me a particular song off the album that stands out to you that you can recite?
I'm gonna say recite. That
or,
means sing.
or give us some lyrics, however you want to do it.
Um, let's see. More than a woman. Um, what did she say? I'll be more than a woman, more than your lover, more than your love to you. That's just the chorus part that I know without going too far into singing. But yeah, that was one of the songs, More Than a Woman.
Wow, I love
I
that.
love Rock the Boat. Um, I Care for You. It's just a great album.
So when you hear, say you're out and about, you're maybe at the grocery store or you're in a car, when you hear those particular songs, does it invoke a memory of that time?
Um, it invokes a memory of just, being young, listening to music, finding different things to do. But like I said, my most favorite thing to do was to listen to music. So I grew up with siblings, but I always tell people that I was always in my room alone. And that's just what I preferred. So music was my best friend.
Oh, you know what? I've never heard anybody say music was my best friend. I love that.
Yeah.
Are you a big consumer of music for your daughter? Like she participates? Do you play music all the time around the house?
Yes. So one thing about me is I'm going to wake up listening to music and go to sleep listening to music, clean up listening to music. I'm not watching TV. Just turn music on. So she's influenced definitely. She loves the music. Yeah.
Listen, I love it. Look, you can't listen. Music is my counselor. It's my encourager. It's my when I want to think I'm hard in the paint. all of that. So I totally get what you're talking about. So let's go back to how I originally met you. I met you at an event a couple of months ago, and I found out that you were a doula. But not only a doula, we'll talk about the other things. So tell me, what was the impetus for you to become a doula? It has to be something. What's the origin story?
So the origin story is I got pregnant with my daughter. Fast forward, I had her, and the way that I was treated in the hospital was, I didn't like the treatment. And that's what fueled it. So one part of it that I didn't like is they'll tell you that like the heartbeat is dropping, but that happens with contractions. I didn't know that. But they will tell you that your child's heart rate is dropping and they need to do an emergency C-section. So what I found out was they get paid more money to give you a C-section versus letting your body naturally do what it's supposed to. Once I found that out, I was enraged, and it took a while for me to be able to even talk about my birth story without crying. It wasn't until someone told me about being a doula and I researched it and went to the classes, got certified for it, that I actually understood my birth story and understood what went wrong and how to prevent it, that I am now able to speak about it.
Wow. I'm so glad that you shared that story. And I know through my journey, I found out that that's the biggest thing going to do surgery. So if you go in and just have a natural birth, they don't make as much money as it would be for surgery. And also on another end, encouraging women to have hysterectomies and things that are not necessarily needed. Now, going back to what you said about the daughter heart rate dropping during contractions, I was not even aware of that. And now this is the new selling tool to get you to say, okay, just because you want your child to be safe. So, in a certain way, they're playing on your emotions.
Exactly. That's exactly what they're doing because, like you said, you want your child to be safe. So anything that you can do in that moment to make sure they are safe, you're going to do it.
So that's where you come in as being a doula to provide not only support, give reference, give information so they're fully equipped, regardless if somebody on the other end give you information. You have enough autonomy to make choices that's best for you, which at the time you did not have. Correct?
Correct. Absolutely correct. So I
So,
started, oh, go ahead.
oh no, go ahead.
I just want to build or bridge the gap between information and non-information because if I can teach you this and you can go in there and advocate for yourself, that's the biggest thing because it's autonomy over your body. They can't do anything unless you tell them they can.
And
A lot of
that's
people don't
very true.
understand that. You can fire, rehire a doctor. You choose, you pay them. They don't pay you. So once you learn that aspect of it, I feel like you'll feel more, you know, confident to do this.
No, I definitely agree. Before I really knew that was the thing, I was the one that said, "No, you don't work for me. No, the energy is not right." Like you have that ability to do so, but I think as I talked to another doula before, everybody is jumping into the white coat syndrome, meaning because they have the white coat, they must know. But you have the ability to know how your body works, and you can give them the information to say, okay, we can work together. It's not them just telling you what to do, because we know as doulas and midwives are coming forward, it's a big discrepancy between women that look like you and I and non-melanated women, where we say we have some pain or it's an issue and they dismiss it, whereas other women, they make preparation for that. So that has been some of the things. Am I right? Can you speak to that?
Yes, and I would definitely say that Black women are dying more in childbirth 3 to 4 times than their counterparts. And it's not because anything is wrong with them, it's from neglect. So if you sit back and think about that, that's a oh heck no moment. Like, you telling me that just because you didn't listen to me, I'm gonna die for that? No, it's unacceptable. Unacceptable. And to go back to your point of, it's not, when you go to the doctor's office, it's not a tailored experience. It's every what is it called? A one size fits all. That's not true. My body is different from your body. I know how my body feels. You know how your body feels. I can't tell you how you're feeling. I can't tell you your head doesn't hurt if you tell me it hurts. So I'm not understanding why they feel like they have the autonomy over our body. It's
Yeah.
not right.
I'm glad you spoke of the one size fits all. Just recently, I have a daughter, and she had to get a physical in order to participate in this program. And one of the things that I discovered, I had a balance on it. I was like, what is this balance for? They was like, well, we're not quite sure. But I said, well, I want to get a well check just so, I can have this physical completed. And what was indicated to me, and I want to share with you and to my audience, they are now putting provisions in. If you call over the phone and say, hey, I want to come in, we'll use UTI as an example. I want to come in to have a UTI. If you talk about or it's something outside of that, they can double charge you. And if your insurance choose not to pay, that can be your balance on there. So I found out all of this the other day. In addition to that, what she did when my daughter came in and had the services, she doubled up, meaning she said she did a well check on top of her symptoms for a UTI. I was not aware of that, and that was put in the system. So if we came back, which we were there for physical, she said, oh, we've already done that. So I think the games are being crafted a little bit more better, and this should encourage us that we need to do it for ourselves. I never knew all I had to do was drop off the paperwork. I didn't have to actually set up an appointment and just drop off the paperwork and they would fill it out. So we have to realize this is a business. And 90% of the doctors that work at the hospital, they are contracted. They don't actually work at the hospital. It is only specialized doctors that do. So when you're contracted, it's certain rules and regulations that they must meet from the hospital. So I didn't mean to go on and on. I just want our audience and yourself to be aware. You have to ask these questions. Okay, I'm coming in for this and I need to keep it at that, or I will be charged. And for me, in order to really find out what my symptoms are, we need to have a conversation. Other things may come up. So I just wanted you guys to be aware because I just found out about that.
Wow. That's crazy. That is so true. They will do things to you and stack up the funds and the money for what? You don't care about me. This is what I know. This is why I tell people you have to handpick your doctors. Like, you literally have to, just like I have to go through doula interviews, and the person that wants a doula has to interview me to see if I'm even a great fit, because everyone does not mesh. Everyone, so you have to handpick your doctors. You
Yeah.
have to. It's important.
Yeah. And not only handpick, understand that they are working a business. It's not health care. Healthcare is different than a business. And I'm slowly understanding, and it's been for a while, that my care is for me and the other part is business for them. So I have to go in there with those lenses on in order to be able to receive what I need, because the doctor is not providing that and it's only a short window. They're stacking every 15 minutes or every 20 minutes. So we just have to be aware that doulas, midwives are so needed, and doulas and midwives are not just for pregnancy. It was multiple things. At one point, a midwife would be like a doctor to the family. Even though she would provide birth services, She would do multiple things. Okay, little Johnny, you got a splinter. Let me deliver this baby. Okay, you have a cough. And she would prescribe something to the whole family. And that's what we utilize. And that has gone away. So I'm happy to see the rebirth. Shout out to my girlfriend, Tiara, that hosted the event. She was one of the first doulas that I interviewed. And we talked about this because people really need to know. I think we should do a poll and you ask people what it is. You have some that know and you have some that don't know.
Yes, that's true. Because like I said, someone told me, and it wasn't even one of me that told me, you know? So that was already something. And I'm like, we've been doing this work in our community since Ben, you know? How is it so washed? I'll say that. How is it so washed? This is our stuff. So
Yeah.
just getting back to the roots of that. And I love what you said about families had midwives that they went to. They were the family doctor. So we have to get back to the community midwives because there was a midwife in every community. So everyone knew who to go to for this, who to go to for that. And it was consistent.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
and as I talked to previous doulas, they told me that um, they were demonized, taken to jail, or fined in some kind of way if they offered the practices because it was the Caucasian male OBGYN that was coming in and they wanted to phase them out and they really demonized that process that they had been doing from the beginning. And you come and you have these ones that say, hey, this is what it is and this is how to be a female body works. I'm not saying a male does not know what their practice is, but this was part of phasing out the midwives and the doula and bringing in this system that we currently have.
Yeah, so they even have CPMs and CNM. The CPM is a certified practitioner midwife, and the CNM is a certified nurse midwife. The only difference is the paperwork. So one went through the medical field, the other one is practicing. You get what I'm saying? But they know the same information. One may not want to go by the medical way of doing it. You get what I'm saying? They still have the certification and everything, but they didn't go. It's just schooling, basically.
Yeah.
Just like a doctor, it's just schooling. But it's
Well,
all the same rules apply.
I just want us to get back to the understanding we have options, meaning Big Mama told you all the time, even though she didn't go to school, but she didn't took care of hundreds of babies. She didn't looked at a baby and said, oh, they need this, this, that. And it ringed to be true and she was successful. I just want everybody to understand you can go to Big Mama or you can go to the doctor. Now, not saying one is, well, I will say Big Mama know what she's talking about, but I'm saying you have options. Like I'll explain when my child was little, the doctor said, oh, you shouldn't do this. And I was like, well, Mom, you shouldn't. She was like, look, the only way you're going to know if you're going to find out. She was like, we'll keep an eye on it. And that's the thing. They give you all these don't do, don't do, don't do. And when you're young or even you don't know, you're like, oh, I'm going with what the doctor say. I tell people, trust your intuition, and we all are learning and experimenting and finding out the best way. As you said, it's not one fit all.
Exactly. Yes.
So before we go to the next subject, how long have you been a doula?
I've been a doula. So honestly, I've taken two doula courses. So when I first heard about being a doula, I went to California. This was about Hmm, 5 years ago, I went to California and took a course. Now, I'm not saying the course wasn't good, but it was more diversified, and I was looking more so for myself, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I just recently took one last year with Jolina Walker.
She
Love
was on
her.
my podcast.
Yes, I
Yay!
love her so much. And it gave me everything that I needed. So it's been about a year.
Yes. Awesome. And if I may say, Jolina is a midwife. She performs midwifery, correct?
Correct.
But
I
she,
don't think she does that aspect of it anymore. She's more into training more doulas in the Las Vegas area. So yeah, but she definitely is a midwife.
I love it. I love it because we need to be able to have this because it's almost like a dying breed, and I feel like it's coming back. And we need to have that. Even if say you never use it, you can use it within your family and advocate and give them perspective. Because I know some lady, she was like, yeah, I went through it, but I'm not using it. But she advised like her sisters, her friends, and things like that. And hopefully in the future she'll get back and kind of offer those services, but it's so needed,
Yes, it definitely is. Just having the information and being able to pass it on, that's great.
Yes.
It sparks
So
something in someone's brain. You never know.
so before we go on, of course I've had doulas, midwives on, but just give a definition of what a doula job is for those that may not know.
So doulas support pregnant women emotionally, physically, and educationally throughout the birthing process.
Yes, thank you. So let's talk about music again. So, can you identify a song that you have sung all your life? I mean, you was getting it. You was like, yes. And then one day you was like, wait 1 minute. I've been singing that song all my life. And now I realize what it is. Can you identify a song?
Yes, I'm gonna have to say Erica Badu, Bag Lady. Now, I've been singing that to the top of my lungs since my mom was playing it when, them Saturday mornings when you hear that music in the morning, it's cleanup time. If you know, you know. So I've been singing that song for so long, but now that I've grown up and I listen to it, I'm like, and I done been through some things. I'm like, what? I'm thinking when I was younger, okay, just drop the bags. That's all you got to do. Drop the bags heavy, dropped it. But now that I listen to it, I'm like, wow, like no baggage, people, places, things. Drop it. Drop it. You cannot carry all them bags. You will not get far with all those bags.
That's an excellent example. And the metaphor, yeah, you'll think about it again. That's why it's one of those wait 1 minute because you think it's actually bad, but it's a metaphor for holding on to things and not being able to release, being a bag lady and just keep going with that same thing. So, what she said, you got too much stuff in your bag. Um, let it go. Let it go. I love that. I wasn't expecting that either. Okay, clap, clap for you. Yes. Bag lady. And shout out to Erica. If you ever want to come on to this platform, I would love to have you on.
Yeah.
So let's talk about you being a mother, having a daughter, and your role or the things you've learned thus far. How have this shaped your perspective? Because I'm going with something. I said this, she has to be a music girl. So I was looking on your IG and you said, and I do anything necessary for her. So don't let the necessary occur. Yep.
Yeah.
I love that. Come on, give it to me. What? And I know where you're coming from because to me, that's telling don't mess with me and mines because I'll have to, you know what? But tell me why you put that one and how you feel about your daughter and protecting her.
Oh man, that's the most important thing to me. You know, I can't breathe, I can't sleep, I can't think. That's how real it is. But for me, as long as she is okay, I'm okay. My world could be crumbling, but if I look at her and see that she's okay, she's, doing good and she has no worries, I am totally fine. From that song, Don't Let the Necessary Occur. So just know that if you do, it's not going to be good because at that point, if it touches her, if it affects her, then we have a very big problem.
That part. That part. And just for those that don't know, can you tell us who is that song from?
Uh, Beyonce and Jay-Z, Life of Sin, yes.
Okay, come on now. Yes, I love that. Don't let the necessary occur.
Mhm.
So
So I feel
let's
that in my heart.
l- listen, that part. For the people in the back, so I have a back pew is invisible. You can't see them, I can't see them, but you're talking to them. Say it again.
And I do anything necessary for her, so don't let the necessary occur. Yep.
That part. That part. So let's talk about these workshops. I think it's very necessary about not just a workshop, but it's a workshop around positive conversation with young ladies' menstrual cycles. Can you give us a little bit of one, the impetus for you to say, I want to do that? And two, some of the things you talk about in the workshop. So if you offer it again, people can come and tap in and participate.
Sure. So the reason why I decided to host a workshop like this is because it's teaching women how to talk to their daughters about the menstrual cycle, right? Growing up, I didn't get that talk. It's been many women that I have spoken to that have not gotten that didn't get the talk. So it just makes me wonder, I didn't get the talk. My mom didn't get the talk. How far has it been removed from the conversation to where we're not even talking about this? And this is a thing that your daughter is going to go through. So if you teach her how to manage it early, teach her what to expect, it will give her more dignity to take care of herself and know that she's okay, because it's alarming when it happens. That has never happened to you before. So if I'm able to have something happen to me and I have control over um, how it goes for me, I would love that. So that's why I gave it. I have a 9-year-old daughter. So for me, it was like, if I never got the conversation, how can I give her something I never got? And that's when I just started doing research and understanding of the menstrual cycle. And, the conversation has to start early and it has to happen often. So, yeah.
So in your workshops, give me a few of the topics that you talk about, and if it's something that during the workshop, one of the parents or the daughters brought up that really gave you some perspective on why you need to continue to do this work.
So I talk about the phases of the cycle. I talk about the taboos of the cycle. I talk about different forms of things you can use while you're on your cycle, as far as the uterus cup. That's not ever talked about. We don't even know what it look like, feel like, anything. Tampons versus pads, just things of that nature. When I had my workshop, I had a mother ask me, how do I get my daughter to use a tampon? And that took me back. And I'm like, autonomy, like you can't get her to use it. She has to figure out what works for her.
So how were you able to break that down to a parent that thinks she was doing the right thing because she's an adult and she's using a tampon? But if I'm not mistaken, if they had not had any kind of sexual intercourse, they should not be pushing a tampon, correct? That should be something later on down the road, or is that something? You correct me if I'm wrong. And this is no shade to the mother that said that, because we're all in learning. That's the whole purpose of coming to a workshop. But you give me a perspective.
So her daughter was also there with us, and I found out her daughter is 20 years old. Um, so for me, what I had to tell her was, like I said, basically autonomy. If she doesn't want to use it, then she doesn't have to use it. And she was just disgusted by it. The daughter, that's just not what she wants to do. But I did show her the uterus cup. That is an alternative. I bought several of them, let them touch them, feel them, see them, because I'm pretty sure that was probably the first time that anyone in that room has touched it.
Wow. And that's probably not offered to the young. I'm going to be very honest. I think I've now known about the uterus cuff for the last 10 to 15 years. And
Mhm.
before then, I hadn't heard of anything. When I first started my cycle, I didn't know anything about that. And I get it, but more than anything, what feels comfortable with you, even if she's 40 and she wants to not use tampons, it should be okay. It's what's good for your body. And how do you feel about it?
Yes, and also it's tailored to like you have to have that mother daughter talk. I will say for the younger girls that I wouldn't recommend the tampon up front. I would with anything you have to grow with it. So this is something new with you. You're gonna constantly grow in this. And when you feel okay, I do want to try it, then you will try.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't just recommend it to a younger girl.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that. So, do you think from providing this workshop, it was beneficial for your participants? And do you believe that you should host something like that every quarter or even more often?
I definitely think it was beneficial due to the surveys that I gave out from prior knowledge to knowledge gained. I did see a lot of great feedback. And I will be offering it again September 16th at Nevada Partners. So it is a continuous conversation that I do want to have. But also, while I was hosting that class, a lot of questions came up about menopause. And that's another conversation that's not happening. So it's just giving me ideas on what the community needs. And I'm so grateful for that because if that's what you want to learn about it, and we all know that as women, we are going to go through it, why not have the conversation of what to expect? I hear horror stories about menopause. I hear a whole bunch of things. So it just created an even bigger conversation.
I think that's wonderful. And again, gives you a platform to go in and get enough information to be able to provide. Again, that goes back to that village mentality that I love and think is needed. That's a part of the midwife. That's a part of being a doula. That's a part of having this ecosystem, which we call a village, where we can tap in and we have different aspects of learning different things. And that's the whole purpose to me of a village. So I thank you for contributing to the village and continue to keep that up. Again, mention it one more time. And do you have a platform where they can tap in on, you said September what, 16th?
Yes, at Nevada Partners. Um, yeah, you can definitely tap in with me. You can follow me on Instagram at Sweetie B. So it's SWEETIE I'm gonna start posting more content on there. I'm trying to get into the content era. But I will start posting a lot, but I'm always on there looking at different things. So you could definitely contact me through there.
Awesome. Well, can you identify a artist or a particular song when your spirits is low? We all have our ups and downs. We're time where we are challenged and you like, ooh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And your mother, your sister, or your best friend is not available. So you're gonna have to get it together all by yourself. And for me, I'm assuming you, sometimes that is a song, as an artist that can pick you up and you can go right to. Can you identify a song or artist that can take you to the next level?
I definitely have a song. So it's Janae Aiko, and it's called Ways, which stands for Why Aren't You Smiling?
Ooh, okay. Tell me about the song.
So the song basically says you're gonna go through so many things in life, but you have to keep smiling. That's what life is all about. Struggling, being happy, ups and downs. Problems are constant. I've learned that growing up. You can fix one problem, might get a week or two break, and another problem coming right back. You have to keep smiling through it. Period. There is no other way because one thing in life that you always want to hold is happiness within. So that song just tells me, girl, why aren't you smiling? Why aren't you smiling? It's gonna be okay. You're gonna get through it.
Yes.
And
That
I feel like in order, um, like it's a love song to me. Like love yourself. You have to love yourself before you can give love to anyone else. And you also have to understand death and how real it is in order to love. If you
mhm.
wake up with love every day, you will give. That will be your output at all times. Positive energy and love. You cannot thrive off of negativity.
That's right. That's right. Well, some people do, and they keep crashing into a wall because they keep tapping into that source. We do have choice, but I love that. One of my taglines is smile. So I have to definitely go look this song up and listen to it. I think that's beautiful. Thank you, girl. Today I am the student. Sometime I'm the teacher, sometime I'm the student. Today I'm the student. I'm just taking it all in.
Yes.
So, because you have a young daughter, you said how old is she?
She's 9.
9. What do you have in your perspective to be able to guide her? What is something that is your very strong suit? Because we know we can't do everything, but what is your foundation that you want to give her?
My foundation that I want to give her is to just literally be herself. Always constantly find ways to evolve and always do something because we get lost in idle time. I want her to stay encouraged. I want her to believe in herself. And that's like the best foundation I feel that I can give her.
I love that. I love that. Well, it has been absolutely amazing talking to you. I think the songs that you provided, I get to write down, I get to tap in and listen to those songs. So before we get out of here, I do have one more question, but I would also like you to provide any other social media handles or anything you would like to tell my audience if they want to tap in. I know you mentioned before, but it's always good to say it again. Just share your platforms.
All right, so definitely my Instagram, it'll be Sweetie B, SWEETIE you could also email me at Brianna, Brianna Jackson, Jackson 2016 at yahoo.com.
And also, just for if someone comes on and feel like you can provide doula services, could they tap in to request that as well?
Yes, they can definitely email me.
Okay, right on. Well, before we get out of here, I do have one last question, and you know it's about music. If you had the opportunity to dedicate a song to the world, would you provide a song that captures some of your heart or all of your heart? Do you have a song?
Um, to be honest, let's see, to the world. I'm gonna have to bring it back to Janae Aiko Ways. I want to dedicate that one to the world because it just gives you the strength to keep going, and sometimes that's all we need.
Yes. Well said. How beautiful. Ways, which stands for
Why aren't you smiling?
yes, beautiful, beautiful. Well, I thank you so much for coming onto my platform to share who you are. I love your perspective. I know you're going to go out and change the world because we need to have, I don't like to use the word change agents, but we do. We need to have that because the things that we were provided before are out of alignment with who we are. And now that we know, we must make a change. We must do some things different to benefit us, our community, and for the future. With that being said, I talk about the journey and the destination. The journey is where we learn and where we grow. The destination is where we celebrate. When we do that thing, you know how I saw that picture with you and your best friend having a good time? That's where we celebrate. Because if we don't, we forget about all the great things and we don't appreciate it. But the key to it all is to get back into the journey after we celebrate and continue to learn and continue to elevate. So when I have my men on, I salute them, and my women, I bow. So I bow to you, beautiful lady.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was a pleasure being here. I love talking music with you. Music is life.
It definitely is. It definitely is. And I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on to my platform. And I say many, many blessings to you and your family, and continue to do what you're doing. And as I say to all my guests, I'll see you out here in these Las Vegas streets. You guys, please give Brianna Jackson a hand.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.